Okay, so we have Orly, who used to be Courtney, and like Rachel Hernandez, who spoke earlier, they converted at the same time in New York. I'm going to let her also speak a few minutes about her journey and any questions that she has.
So much for having this forum today. Thank you so much, Ralph Singer, for being here with us. You have been so instrumental in my whole process. So I was born in the South, and so my family is very into church. Southern Baptist, not the quiet type, but the charismatic type, non-denominational, so like believing like the gifts of the spirit and healing and things like that. And so I remember stories of me being in the nursery when I was 6 months old, like born in the church, spent all of my time in the church. So it's a huge part of my family. As a child, I didn't really like going to church. I thought reading the Bible was boring. But I knew, like I believed in God. And so as I got older, I felt like I was trying to forge my own relationship with God, not just being something that my family did or was a part of our traditional culture, but became my own thing. And so I ended up going to the same ministry that Raquel went to. And this was kind of like a messianic ministry, but it was like a hodgepodge of a lot of different things. They catered pretty much to a lot of different denominations. And so the thing about this ministry was that they taught Torah. And so at that point in my life, I was reading the Bible on my own. I wasn't falling asleep when I was reading it. Like it was something that I really wanted to like learn the word of God for myself. And so I really wanted to learn the word. And something that stuck out to me when I was on this journey was read Psalms 119. And I didn't know why I was so attracted to reading Psalm 119 and studying it, but that was like the whole thing. Now I know why, but then I didn't understand why. And so I
Mm.
started taking like these Torah classes, and like Rahel said, we had like this friend group with that during COVID. We're learning Torah together, and we all were into like the performing arts. Like we sang, we did plays and things like that together. And so that was like our connection of like, how do we take the word of God and like present it, using the performing arts so that we can go out and like preach the true word of God through the performing arts. So that was our connection as a group. But then we were studying what we thought was Torah. And so in that ministry, like Tova said, with her, I felt like I'm getting all of this information. I'm learning all of these things. I need to do something with it. I need to serve. I need to give my life towards, this because it's so good. I need to be able to give back. And so serving in the ministry, the pastor at the time, I was her driver. As I'm driving her, she would be listening to Torah Anytime lectures. And one person that she would listen to a lot was Rebbitzin Esther Youngrice. And so we'd be listening to her lectures. And she also recommended her book, Life is a Test to me. And so I read that book, and instantly her description of Shabbat in that book, it just jumped out at me. And I'm like, what is this? Why am I not like observing it? Like I need to do this. And so I ended up reading Life is a Test. And then her other book is The Committed Life. I read that one, and just the descriptions that she gave of, just her stories about a Torah observant life, and Shabbat was the thing that just stuck out to me. So I'm jumping on Chabad.org. Like, how can one observe Shabbat? Like, what are all the things that I need? Like, buying all of the different, like, things to be able to observe Shabbat, and like, what am I supposed to do? What are the prayers? And that's where it started for me. That was my pull, Shabbat. And so as I'm observing Shabbat the best way that I know how, I'm like, well, I need to start taking on, more. I want to observe more, and I'm studying more. And it's really getting to me like, well, why aren't we as Christians doing these things? Like, why is the Sabbath on a different day? Like, why they celebrate, in the Messianic land, they celebrate the feast, but the holidays, but they're on different days. Like, they're not really serious. Like, it's not really true observance, but I guess they acknowledge it. And so for me, the more I was learning, the more I was like, I need to take this on. I need to take on more observance. And so getting deeper into it, and then Rachel, like she mentioned, she ran across Rabinit's videos on YouTube. She shared it with the group, and we were devouring everything that she was coming out with every week. We're listening to it, going back to old videos, just devouring it. And the thing that got me with both of you is that the difference that I saw in Christianity, where some of these pastors, they are untouchable, some of them, especially like when you get like those big, like mega church type pastors, you have to go through assistants. You can't really talk to them. But with you two, you guys personally reached out to me, like Rabbanit reached out to me and invited me to go to or attend the Noahide Zoom. Eventually, Rabbi Singer, I reached out to you. As I was listening, I think, to Knock Talk, your email flashed across the screen, and I had questions about conversion. And I'm like, that's his email. I think I'm going to email him. And I emailed you, and you emailed me back like hours later and asked me, like, what's your number? And you ended up giving me a phone call, and you probably don't remember it. But I think that's one thing that really stuck out for both, to me, with both of you, like the care that you really showed, and like you were accessible. Back to the Noahide course. It started there, with that, and then with the personal classes that we were taking. And then she ended up, as we've been taking these classes, she ended up recommending that we listen to your videos, Ray Singer. And I was skeptical at first because I don't know, I started to listen to one video and I just couldn't handle it. It was like too much truth, too fast, like I can't handle it. And so I think I kind of like put it on the shelf for a couple months. It kind of just got to a point where I'm like, I have to make a decision. Like I can't stay where I am. I know that I need to go headfirst into converting and living a Jewish life. And so I finally listened to your videos and I could not stop. I was listening to everything. I got your books, I got the audiobooks, everything that you put out. I felt like I was on your website, everything. I was listening to it. And for me, that was the turning point. It started off, I had to let go. I noticed for me to let go of JC, I had to first let go of Paul. And that was difficult. Not realizing that Christianity was created by his teachings. And so once I was able to let go of Paul, then I was able to let go of JC. And then after that, that was a wrap. Thank you both. My question, I guess, because like I said, my family is really, really connected to their faith. And I've tried to talk to some really close family members, and it's just been like, we've been butting heads. And even though I've presented like things to them, like, well, there's nothing in Tanakh that supports Christianity, it always gets down to, well, I've had these experiences. Like, you can't take that away from me. Like I've had healings, or I've experienced, like these supernatural things in my life, and nobody can deny, nobody can take that away from me. And at that point, it's just like, I don't know where to go with that. So what do you suggest I do?
Yeah, there are nearly 20,000 Christian denominations in the world. So as it turns out, in Christian denominations, which claim the other ones are completely false, they all claim miracles. But they only accept the miracles in their denomination, not in other denominations. So the Catholic Church accepts only the miracles that happen in their denomination. There are many Christian denominations that think that the charismatic church, the Pentecostal church that you came from, which was only invented about 100 years ago in a Kojic church in California, there are many people who think that if you don't belong to a Pentecostal church, a charismatic church, then you're not really saved. And there are many people who feel that the Pentecostal church is complete lunacy, and all these gifts of the Spirit have ceased. So what happens is everybody's claiming miracles, everybody's having miracles, but people always say, no, I only accept the miracles in my denomination, nobody else's denomination. So they're playing a game, and it's a game, it's multiple games that are going on. But one is that they only accept the miracles that are done in their particular denomination. For instance, the Roman Catholic Church claims there are all sorts of miracles that go on in their iteration of Christianity. So why don't these Protestants join the Roman Catholic Church? You know how many miracles the Roman Catholic? Every saint has to demonstrate that they performed a miracle. Demonstrate it. So why didn't everyone become Catholic? Because they don't accept that. And then how come the Mormon Church, they claim miracles too? So it's really a game. Another game that's played, frankly, is that people pray over people who are sick. And what happens is that when they pray over people who are sick, what they do is they eliminate failures. So there's terrible forms of cancer out there, but only 5% survive. 5% of people survive. Shem Yirachem, it's very dangerous. But what happens is, so if they pray over someone that died, so it's God's will, it's his mystery. But if the person survives, it's a miracle. So what they do is they eliminate, it's called canceling failures. It's just a mind game. It's just playing with people. You eliminate all the failures. 1 in 20 people who get this, who catch a cold, recover. This proves, so it only proves it if it's in my denomination and it's a success story. If it's someone in the other denomination, it's an act of Satan. It's demonic. It's not real. It's fake. It's chicanery. The whole thing is a carnival. It really is. And my heart goes out to Christians because not the leaders. I'm not impressed with Christian leaders. It's not that I've never been, but generally I'm not. But the followers, the parishioners, generally, in my experience, are very sincere people. But it's a game where only the miracles that are done. What about all the miracles that Hindus claim? What about the Orthodox Church? You know what goes on? How much idolatry is in the Orthodox Church with icons everywhere, and the Catholic Church, statues everywhere, and statues, people are praying to statues and praying through statues and all kinds of relics and miracles. But the Torah says it's completely forbidden. You know, you wouldn't believe this, Rebbetzin, in the Sinai Peninsula, at Mount Sinai, where many believe is the original Mount Sinai. There's a question of if it really is or isn't. But the Orthodox Church has an old church called St. Catherine's. And it's at the foot of Mount Sinai. If you drive from Israel to Africa, which you can by driving under the Suez Canal, you pass it. And it's mind-blowing. There's a church there full of idols all over the place at the foot of what they think is Mount Sinai, where God said you should have no graven images. It's mind-blowing. So in truth, the normal way to address this question is that there are people, Muslims, who believe that there are tremendous miracles done through Islam at the Kaaba, healings when they go on a Hajj. How do you explain that? So, what they're saying is if X is true, Y must be true. How come there are people who don't believe in the gifts? Many of these Pentecostals and Charismatics, many of them believe that the Roman Catholic Church, that the Pope is the Antichrist, the Roman Catholic Church is the whore of Babylon, spoken in Revelation. But they're doing miracles too. Everybody's claiming miracles. But the miracles always happen somewhere else. You ever notice that? The miracle in the Congo, somewhere, someone rose from the dead. How come it doesn't happen by me? The Gemara says, if you want to lie, make sure that your witnesses are very far away. So Paul was able to tell the people in Corinth, 500 people witnessed Jesus. What are they going to do? Get on a plane and check it out? They can't. So it's a scam. For good people, sweet people. I've come to really care about these Christians. They're sweet, sweet people, but they really are not stopping and using the critical thing. Why do you reject the Church of the Latter-day Saints? Because it's not consistent with the New Testament. I grant it, but how come they can do miracles? No, it's not consistent. So then, why do you accept Christianity? It's not consistent with the Torah. No one could die for somebody's sins. Exodus 24. You see, different. It makes me feel good. The truth is, I love Jesus. This is the real truth. And if someone wants to think otherwise, they're mistaken. I don't want to go to hell. People are terrified of dying because people think of dying as basically you're at a party. And then in the middle of the party, you get tapped on the shoulder and told that you have to leave. Worse, the party goes on without you. It's a nightmare. If everyone else would die with me, it wouldn't be so bad. But everyone else stays at the party, and I've got to leave the party. I don't want to leave the party. So you get to come back if you're a Christian because it's unfalsifiable. That's why all false religions claim it. Now, it's not that there isn't heaven and hell in Tanakh. It really is there. Tchias HaMesim is openly in Tanakh, but it's not in a threat. Read Leviticus 26, Deuteronomy 28, the blessings and the curses. There's not one threat of hell and heaven. And it's a very effective threat. It's not that it wouldn't work. It's just you can't test it. The Torah says, let me explain to you what's going to happen. You turn away from me, you're going to go to battle, and you're going to lose. And if you're loyal to me, then one will chase 1,000. Who would make such a prediction? You won't find that in the Christian Bible because the fake gods can't control history and can't control the weather. So, but you have to be, with family, it's all different. All the rules have changed. I don't know what your relationship is like with the people you love, your family. I don't know. There usually is some tension that arises. My view is to try to heal tension first. This is without knowing anything. Try to just have a good relationship. And then slowly, carefully answer their questions rather than initiate. No one likes aggressive people. I don't like aggressive people. I try to. That's what I would say. But it's very hard with family because a family is, you're rejecting us. It's like you're turning your back on the family. You're a traitor to the family. So it's really more complicated. It's not easy with family.